The biggest lie in the personal development industry is that knowledge is power. It is. It's just you feel like you got points because you signed up for a seminar or a webinar, you bought a book and it sits on your shelf and it becomes shelf help instead of self-help. The truth is, what people don't tell you is all the podcasts, coaching, conferences, online programs, none of it works unless you work. If it's not a must, you're not gonna do it because you have plenty of other things to do. Is that fair? Because there's a success formula, head, heart, hands. You could think about things in your mind, set goals in your head and affirmations, KPIs, your objectives, but if you're not acting with your hands and you're procrastinating. If there's a gap between your head and your hands, check in with the second H, which is your heart, right? The emotion. We do things emotionally. We are emotional creatures. We're not logical, we're biological. Dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins, we're this chemical soup, and so we want to be able to activate that. So head, heart, hands, another way of putting it are our eyes. Information, that's good, great, but sometimes you can listen to a podcast, it's a lot of information, but there's no inspiration to use it, fair? But sometimes you can listen to a speaker or learn something and it's inspiring, but you don't know what to do, right? Is that fair? So you have information, you have inspiration, and then you have implementation, where you're doing it. And I feel like when you get all three I's together, you have the most powerful I, which is integration. That's my goal for all of you, is that when you read something, you listen to something, you learn something, it becomes part of who you are. It's integrated, here, here, and here. And then you have an alignment, and how it performs is, it looks like magic to people. You know when somebody is aligned and they're in their element, it looks like it's effortless? You know, these flow states, it's powerful. People think that just because our program's called Kwik Brain and Kwik Learning and Kwik Reading, it's frantic fast. It's not at all. It's just, there's a piece to it. It's like somebody who's fit and has strategies. If they have to climb a mountain, it looks like it's effortless because they've just done the work and they have strategy and they have tools to be able to do so. And somebody who maybe doesn't have those resources, it's more effort. Is that fair? So actually learning how to do these things, it's easier. Like when I read a book, I still read a book a day. It's just part of my practice. It's part of my mental hygiene. People ask me all the time, how do I keep my brain young and how do I keep it energetic? And as I grow older, reading. But the problem is a lot of people don't indulge in it because they're not good at it. But in psychology, they have something called the competence loop. That the more competent you get at something, the more confident you get at it. And then the confidence will make you do it more, and you get more confidence, and then it cycles through in positive momentum, right? And you have examples of that in your own life. So what I'm asking about here, the second part, is the inspiration, is why must I use this? And you know what a question I ask a lot of is like, who's counting on me to win today? You know what I mean? First, because some of you, and I bring this up because some of you really will do more for other people than you will for yourself. So knowing that about yourself, self-awareness is a superpower, then tap into that. You don't have to change it, tap into it. Who's counting on me to be at my best? And then you're more likely to do it. And the reason I know this is because when I was driven so much, it was really my family who I wanted to make proud. Like we all have our reasons, right? Your life of your dreams really is hidden in your daily routines, right? It's the things you do daily. And 40% of what you do every single day and you think, it's all habitual. You're on autopilot. But when did you create those consciously and sit down and put together those routines? And those things are important because they're discipline. And also it reduces decision fatigue, which also takes away from the quality of your reading. A lot of you aren't reading because you're just exhausted. And I bet you though, it's not just because you're busy and doing too many things. It's because you're not doing enough of the things that make you feel alive. Is that fair? That you feel burnt out, you feel tired and exhausted, not because you're so busy, it's just you're not doing enough of the things that nourish you, that fire you, that give you light. If you buy into the opinions of other people, you're gonna go broke, right? If you're looking to be fueled by other people's expectations and opinions of yourself, then you're gonna run out of gas. How many of you have people outside of this room that really don't understand why you're in this room? Look around, why are you listening to another podcast? Why are you buying another book? Why are you doing this all the time? How many people have people like that? And here's the thing, sometimes the people that care about you the most are the ones that you give the power to hold you back. They don't hold you back, but you give them the power to do so. And I'm not saying it's easy when it's your spouse and your family. I'm not at all saying it's easy because sometimes learning life is messy. But I'm here to say that the best thing you could do, because you can't change them. How many people realize you can't change another person, right? Think about how hard it is for you to change yourself, and much less change somebody else. And so that's very difficult. But the best thing you could do is be an example, right? That if you're going through difficult times, they can define you, they could diminish you, or they could develop you. But you decide. And it always comes back to decision. I got really upset that this wasn't taught back in school, this idea of meta-learning. And meta-learning really is the science of learning how to learn, to unlock your super brain, learning how to concentrate, learning how to focus, learning how to be creative and to solve problems and to think, to be able to read faster, to be able to remember more. Because that's the most important skills right now, because if you could do all that, marketing, Mandarin, martial arts, music, all that becomes easier.